we as Christians have to abandon reason? Or does the Christian faith actually complete it? Many people today assume that faith is a leap into the dark, that to believe in God you must switch your brain off. But Christianity has always made a far more unsettling claim. As Thomas Aquinas argued, faith does not destroy reason, it perfects it. What we begin to grasp with the mind, we step fully into through faith. So the real question isn't whether Christianity rejects reason, because we don't. The real question is, what is reason actually for? We live right now in a post-enlightenment world, an age trained to question everything. But something has changed. Questioning is no longer aimed at discovering truth, but at dismantling claims. Not asking what is true, but where is it wrong? And many Christians feel the tension, because we feel like if I keep asking questions, my faith will eventually collapse. But here's the problem with that fear. Christianity never commands us to abandon our minds. It commands us to direct them, not toward the shifting truths of men, but toward the truth of God. Skepticism presents itself as neutral and cautious, but it quietly depends on things that it cannot prove. To doubt anything at all, you must already trust that your mind is generally reliable. Logic maps onto reality. The world is understandable. Moral claims mean something. People have dignity and truth is worth seeking. None of these are proven by skepticism itself. They are assumed, which means skepticism also lives by faith. And Augustine of Hippo named this long ago when he said, "Unless you believe, you will not understand." In On the Trinity, Augustine explains the ordinary order of knowledge. Faith seeks, understanding finds. That's not anti-reason, it's how knowing works. You must trust something to learn anything. The Bible never treats knowing God as a purely intellectual puzzle. It is relational, participatory, and lived. Psalm 34 verse 8 calls to the people of God and says, "Taste and see that the Lord is good." John 7 verse 17 says, "If anyone's will is to do God's will, he will know." And Proverbs 1 verse 7 says that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Christianity doesn't say stop thinking. It says let truth govern your thinking. And it offers a foundation for reason itself. In John 1 verse 1 we hear that in the beginning was the Word, the Logos. Reality is intelligible because it is created by reason itself. Modern culture treats religion as personal therapy. Christianity refuses that. It doesn't begin with a principle or spiritual truth, but it begins with an event. God acted in time, the incarnation, the cross, the resurrection, and Paul is brutally honest about it all. In 1 Corinthians 15 verse 17, he pleads with the Corinthians and says, "If Christ has not been raised, your faith is futile." If the historical claim collapses, which Christianity claims, Christianity collapses with it. That makes Christianity rational in a way many spiritualities are not. It is falsifiable and it invites investigation. Obviously, there's no video footage, but history doesn't work that way. It works through early testimony, multiple witnesses, hostile sources, explanatory power, and the cost of belief. Even non-Christian Roman sources confirm the early movement. Tacitus records that Christ was executed under Pontius Pilate, and that the movement of his followers spread rapidly. Pliny the Younger describes Christians meeting before dawn, singing to Christ as to a god, and binding themselves to moral seriousness. These don't prove the resurrection, obviously, but they show that Christianity wasn't a late legend. It was early, public, and costly. And scripture itself constantly appeals to public knowledge. In Luke 1 verse 1 to 4, Luke claims careful investigation. In Acts 26 verse 26, Paul says that the whole events of Christianity was not done in a corner but publicly witnessed. And Acts 2 to 4, resurrection preaching appears immediately. The argument isn't therefore you must believe. The argument is this: the resurrection explains more with fewer assumptions than its alternatives. Christianity didn't arise among the naive. It faced philosophers, critics, and persecution. Origen wrote a book called Contra Celsium because Christianity was accused of being irrational. Clement of Alexandria even called Greek philosophy a tutor preparing minds for Christ. Truth isn't tribal. God can use imperfect systems to lead people toward fullness. This is exactly what Paul does in Athens in Acts 17. He affirms what is true, rejects idolatry, and ends with the resurrection. Christianity doesn't fear reason, it reorders it. Modern thought usually swings between two extremes. Humans are basically good, or humans are just clever animals. Christianity says something far more realistic. We are glorious and broken at once, made in God's image and warped by sin. That explains our beauty and our brutality, our ideals we can't live up to, our shame that won't disappear, and our longing that outlives success. Augustine called it perfectly when he said, "Our hearts are restless until they rest in you, because our hearts were created by God, for God." That's not poetry, that's anthropology. The early church never reduced salvation to try harder. Irenaeus of Lyons taught that Christ recapitulates humanity, becoming what we are to make us what he is. If the problem is corruption and death, the solution cannot be advice. It must be union. And Athanasius of Alexandria argued the incarnation was demanded by the problem itself. I spoke about that in the last video. God descends, God unites, and God heals. Hebrews 2 verse 14 proclaims that through death, Jesus Christ destroyed the one who has the power of death. The cure fits the disease. That is a rational coherence. Christianity doesn't try to compete with science. It explains why science works at all. A rational creator, an ordered world, rational minds, and a moral duty to seek the truth and worship God through it. Materialism can do science, but it struggles to explain why the mind should track truth at all. Christianity offers a better fit. Reason comes from reason. In this age and in our modern world, people are tired. Many people don't reject Christianity because it's been refuted, but because it's been misrepresented. Christianity doesn't ask you to stop thinking. It asks you to think all the way through and then to trust the one who stands at the end of reason. Truth is not just information, it is a person. Grace is not a denial of justice, it is restoration. And hope is not optimism, it brings about resurrection. The mind seeks truth because it is found in God. The heart seeks love because it's created by God. The conscience seeks cleansing. The will seeks strength. And Christianity says all of these converge in the Logos, in Jesus Christ. God bless.